people. As you can see, I've taken the forks off this bike. They're now lying on the ground there, next to the forks that will replace them, which are from a Suzuki Hayabusa. Question could be asked, why did I take these forks off and why am I replacing them with those forks? And the answer is I've always wanted to replace the original forks, which are these, because they're not inverted forks, and I wanted to put inverted forks on them. But the real reason I'm replacing these forks is because I loaded this thing up onto the trailer after dropping the bike the night before. I put straps on the handlebars and then tightened them down, and I think I blew seals out of the forks that were on it, because there was all sorts of liquid that came down. So that gave me the excuse to do what I've wanted to do for a long time, which is put on inverted forks. So I went out and made the decision to do that, and that's why this is going down. Alrighty, the first challenge in swapping out these forks was changing the Triple G from the Triumph to a Gixxer. So unfortunately, this is the Triumph insert that goes into the head tube. And on the bottom we have a metric taper roller bearing, the diameter of which is, the inside diameter is 30 millimeters, the outside is 55 millimeters, and the height is 17 millimeters, which is exactly the same specs as the Gixxer bearing, except for the Gixxer bearing uses ball bearings, as you can see here. That wasn't really a problem. What became a problem was the top. The top for the Triumph uses a sealed bearing, this thing right here, and the diameter for this sealed bearing was 25 millimeters inside diameter, 52 millimeters outside diameter, and 15 millimeters tall or height. So because the diameter of this bearing was smaller than the diameter of its bottom bearing and the Hayabusa bearing, I had to get a sealed bearing which had those two dimensions, so a 30 millimeter inside diameter with a 52 millimeter outside diameter, and I did find one, and it cost a lot of money. The next problem was the dust cover plate for the top here. This is the one that's on the Hayabusa, and this is the one that goes on the Triumph. So you can see this is a different type that screws on like this. And you can also see it's a different diameter. It's smaller. It actually fits inside the other one. So now I needed to make a dust cover that was this diameter and was able to accommodate the 30 millimeter diameter of the tube. So what I did was on the Hayabusa, I changed out the bottom bearings with a tapered bearing like this. And for the top, I purchased that new sealed bearing with a proper diameter, and then I made a dust cover out of a can, basically, to fit onto the Hayabusa stem. Slowly but surely, it's coming off. Thank you, Lord. Fucking piece of shit. Alright, good people, here is the collar nut from the axle of my bike. It has been reduced in length by 14.5 millimeters. And here is the adapter. This is 12.5 12.5 millimeters. And it was cut from a adapter I bought on eBay, which was actually 2 inches long. This I cut down from 2 inches. This will go on this side. This goes here. This has been modified. Alrighty, good people. This is the axle spacer that originally came with the Triumph. It is 25 millimeters inside diameter, 35 millimeters outside diameter, and 21.25 millimeters in length. Now I could have taken this and cut off 8.75 millimeters to make a spacer the correct size, but instead I bought that one off eBay. So I had to modify the one off eBay because it has inside diameter of 25 millimeters, but it was 2 inches long, so I had to cut this down to 12.5 millimeters. And I also had to take out the outside diameter from 38.1 millimeters down to 35 millimeters. So that is the spacer that'll be going on to the left side of the motorcycle